Hello everyone, Frost here. Welcome back to a new episode of Rags to Riches. In our previous episode we covered ways to make gold with alchemy, herbal-ism and fishing. Today we're going to explore two grinding spots. One high-end spot for levels 55 plus and one for low levels somewhere around mid-30s. All this while trying to figure out the potential gold per hour for each location. Please check the timestamps in the description down below, and without further ado, let's explore. For our first spot we have to venture to another region in Azeroth dominated by evil magic. It sits in the middle of the southern part of Eastern Kingdoms and connects Duskwood to the Swamp of Sorrows. The Ivory Tower of Karazhan, once the Dark Wizard's Medivh seat of power, stands in the center of this jagged region and leaks evil magic into the land. The trees are petrified and leafless, and the terrible wind keens through the canyon. Ogres, demons, undead, and a few human gypsies roam the interior. A few whispers tell that a new force has claimed the Ivory Tower, and the ogres and demons are under its sway. The foul wind constantly blows across the decimated canyon, giving it the name Deadwind. The fates of many people in Azeroth and the surrounding continents were forged here. Medivh made this his home and planned the Dark Portal's creation and opening. His evil is felt in this region more strongly than anywhere else. The land is corrupted with the foul taint of his magic. Currently, the pass has little significance. People move through quickly, wishing to avoid ogres, undeads, and demons. It is rumored that the attacking monsters do not kill those they capture, but take them back to the tower. The tower's builders have been lost to time, but surely they were great and terrible people to have built such a foreboding and yet magnificent structure. Medivh was sought out and killed during the First War, and the tower has since been apparently abandoned, though unknown dangers yet lurk within. It is unclear who murdered all the villagers in the southern part of the area. It may have been Medivh or some force he summoned. Another theory states that it was the Black Riders who have a hunger for death and seek to obtain the dangerous site of Elune for their own purpose. The reason why we're venturing into this region dominated by evil and magic is to kill the Deadwind Pass ogres, which is one of the oldest and most notable farming locations. Back in vanilla, this place was permanently camped by gold farmers and Chinese farmers. To this day, you can still come here and farm around level 60 and make halfway decent money. The main source of income from ogres will be the raw money they drop and runecloth, although there are a couple of extra goodies that we'll discuss later on. There are 4 types of ogres scattered around the southeastern part of Deadwind Pass: ogre maulers and brutes, and ogre mages and warlocks. The physical damage dealing ogres have one ability each. The Mauler has an uppercut strike with a small knockback, and the Brute has a trash strike that has a chance to do 2 additional attacks. Pay careful attention to this one when you're low on health. Do not avoid them, as the Brutes carry more wealth than other ogres, dropping on average 4 times the amount of silver. The casters on the other hand have 3 abilities each. Weirdly enough, the Mage has Lightning Bolt, Flame Shock, and Bloodlust. The bolts hit up for 500 damage. If your gear is not strong enough, I'd recommend crowd control if you're pulling 2 mobs, or at least kill the mage first. The warlock has Immolate, Shadow Bolt, and Curse of Weakness that will reduce the damage dealt by 29. These warlocks can be found only within the caves around the location with limited spawn points. I'd recommend killing these all the time, as they have a 0.9% chance to drop the formula Enchant Bracer Superior Strength. A very valuable enchant early on, and the price of it can be anywhere from 50 to 200 gold. All the ogres have 35% chance to drop 1 to 3 rune cloths, a 3% chance to drop a major healing potion, 1% chance for a major mana potion, and a higher drop chance for the casters, around 1.6%. On top of that, this mode will drop grey weapons and armor in abundance, some of them vendoring for up to 2 gold. They also drop consistently greens and, with a bit of luck, rares. Make sure you have enough bag slots, as they tend to fill up pretty quick. During 2 hours of grind here I managed to get 12 stacks of rune cloth, 10 major healing potions, 5 major mana potions, 3 dark moon deck pieces, 1 traveler's backpack, and a variety of greys and greens, which I choose to sell them to the vendor for a more consistent gold per hour. Maybe it was the RNG, but right about when I was ready to leave the place, a soul keeper dropped. A useless rare item, but yet again 4.5 gold at the vendor. 2 minutes later, a warlock dropped the formula for superior strength on bracers, but I will not include this in the final gold per hour, as this is pure RNG. Made 7 gold from the raw silver drop and 34 gold from vendoring everything else. Normally, you don't want to vendor the greens or the Darkmoon deck pieces. The reason why I'm doing this is because this is a test server and I'm really looking for consistency here. Sold all the rune cloth with 1.6 gold per stack, the healing potions with 38 silver each, and the major mana pots with 89 silver a piece. Keep in mind that mana potions tend to rise in price close to new content release. Always check the price on the auction house. After getting rid of the rune cloth, potions and traveler's backpack, I ended with 75 gold over the course of 2 hours, which puts me on 3750 gold per hour. Of course, if we take in consideration the formula and maybe disenchanting the greens for profit, the numbers can go up to 80 gold per hour. Nevertheless, I hope we got a good glimpse of the potential gold per hour at this spot. Let's move to our low level second spot. For our second spot, we have to venture into the Thousand Needles. Before the Great Sundering, this region was a river canyon, the spires of sandstone shaped from years and years of rushing water. Water flowed to the sea from a large lake to the east, fed by an underground branch. Then came the demons and the destruction that threw the entire world into upheaval. The canyon was thrust above the water table, the eastern lake dried up and became a vast salt flat, and Thousand Needles became a sandy gorge. The Long Canyon stands as a natural divide between central and southern Kalimdor. The realm gets its name from the dozens of giant cylindrical columns of sandstone that rise from the bottom of the canyon like a forest. Bridges have been constructed atop of many of the spires, connecting pathways across the canyon from one side of the surrounding mountains to the other. To the east of Thousand Needles, the canyon opened into a large, dry lake bed known as Shimmering Flats prior to the massive flooding. This dried out salt flat was actually below sea level, and at its center stood an alkaline lake with 10 times the salt of any ocean. This seer region was so hot, dry and salty that few creatures ventured here. Lizards, scorpions, vultures and birds of prey were not uncommon, nor were the centaur warbands. The spire bridges allowed travelers to traverse the canyon without running into the barbaric centaur who patrolled the canyon floor. Even then, the bridges were not entirely safe, however, as birds of prey would attack the careless adventurers. Larger birds were known to sabotage the bridges from time to time. There was very little of interest in this land, unless someone had a passion for salt, sandstone, or oil. All this drought opened caves on the side walls of Thousand Needles, and in those caves enemies took residence. Today we're going to journey to a place called the Rogue Feather Den, a cave filled with harpies level 28 to 30 humanoids with an interesting loot table. There are 3 types of harpies in this cave. Screeching Harpy with a deafening screech ability that silences players for 8 seconds. Screeching Rogue Feather with a backstab ability, luckily this can be avoided as they only hit from behind. and Screeching Wind Color with a hurricane-like ability rendering you unable to move or attack for 4 seconds. Pretty annoying. The main source of gold from this spot is raw silver, about 50 coppers per kill, light feather, silk cloth, wool cloth, sharp claws and vibrant plumes. The vibrant plumes can be exchanged for Darkmoon Fair tickets, and the tickets can be further exchanged for a variety of items. But most important, the Amulet of the Dark Moon and the Orb of the Dark Moon. 2 epic necklaces that are quite decent. It takes 1200 tickets to trade for 1 necklace, so people will stock up very early. Now, I think I overestimated the value of this spot as my vanilla memories were a bit mixed up. Probably I confused the spot with the Centaur Cave, and because I was halfway through the grinding session I decided to complete it and give the numbers anyway. Compared to our previous spot, the drop chance of cloth was significantly lower and the max number of pieces was limited to 2. Greens and greys were not that abundant, but we did manage to get lots of trade goods to sell on the auction house. Grinded here for about 2.5 hours, obtained 4 stacks of silk cloths, 2 stacks of wool cloth, 4 stacks of light feather and about 45 vibrant plumes. Made 2 gold from raw silver and an extra 2.5 gold from vendoring junk. The rest of the items were calculated with a common value for the auction house and ended up with a total of 22 gold during the course of 2.5 hours, which puts me on about 9 gold per hour. I guess for level 30 it's not a bad profit, although there might be better spots out there in this level range. But nevertheless, this might be a good alternative location to grind when all the other spots are taken or too crowded. This is it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. In the near future I'll be more present on Twitch doing live streams. If you want to come by and say hello, the link is in the description down below. Twitch.tv Frostadamus, which will soon get changed into Twitch.tv Frostadamus to match the YouTube channel. It's under the process of being changed. If the first link does not work, try the second. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay frosty.